Hey everyone, Max and Kitty here.
Hello.
Before we begin today's episode, we wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
We began recording the neutral ending, as Kitty has coined the neutral ending for 999, and we thought it was going to take us one sitting to do, and the video, the raw video file is over 3 hours long.
I mean, some of that we get to, about like half an hour we get to cut out, but
yeah,
still.
because we did fast forward through like all the dungeons, the puzzles.
Still,
So we are gonna split that into episodes. I'll find nice places to stop them in because it was a really nice big recording session.
Yeah.
But there's no way we're putting up a 3-hour video.
Yeah, no, or even a 2.5-hour video.
Yeah. So enjoy. This week's worth of videos probably.
Yes.
For 999 is not gonna have like a formal outro. We're just gonna like re-record it as we're doing this right now.
Yep.
We hope you enjoy. And for now, grab some popcorn, settle in, and enjoy the show.
Enjoy today's episode.
And
It continues.
it continues. 999 Dango Duo. Today we have a very special episode for you.
We're gonna have probably a long episode because we're getting 0.2 screen.
Probably you think this is the one? You think this is the one? You think so?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Today we're going to be getting what Kitty has coined as the neutral ending.
Because it's, I'm assuming, doesn't involve our horrible deaths, but you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, I mean,
it could also involve success.
Yeah.
We could actually just live happily ever after.
Yeah.
And marry June and have babies with her.
But we would, if it was Danganronpa style, we'd be stuck on the ship but be happy there.
It's weird how that is one of the... Oh, spoilers!
Yeah.
Anyhow, welcome back.
Spoilers for the bad ending
Yeah,
of Danganronpa.
spoilers for... Isn't there more than one bad ending?
There's only 2 endings. There's the bad ending and then the real
That's
ending.
funny.
I love that
so
shit.
today's going to be a weird episode. It's going to be a long one, probably.
Probably.
I'm going to tell you right now. As soon as you get these 3 bad endings, the submarine, the knife, and the axe, you have access to the neutral ending.
Access.
Axes?
Get it.
I hate you. No, it's not true. It's not true.
Yep.
No, I value your company lots, and it's fun to play games with you. So, to access the next ending, what is known as Kitty has coined as the neutral ending.
Yep.
We have to do rooms in a particular order. I'll tell you right now, because we're just gonna cut there. We have to do in this order: room number 5,
5.
the first cabin. We do the casino, which is part of that too. Door number 8 to the laboratory.
8.
And then door number 6 to the steam engine room.
6.
We're
5, 8, 6.
We're gonna fast forward through all of this. If there is new dialogue, which is likely to be, we'll show it to you. Otherwise, we're just gonna fast forward.
Yeah,
You cool?
Yep. We ain't gonna. Yep.
All right. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, and we got some new dialogue actually.
New dialogue. Yay.
So we went through the first class cabins in door 5, and then the casino, and then we are in door 8, the laboratory, and we completed all the way until Lotus starts hacking
the system.
And halfway through talking or doing the whole thing, Junpei asks, "What kind of job do you have? What are you?"
I'm unemployed at the moment. I used to work for a cybersecurity firm, but I quit.
Why? Lotus blinked.
Huh? Oh, it was just something.
She stopped typing for a moment, and her face fell. This was not an avenue of questioning to be pursued, Junpei realized, and quickly shut his mouth. Lotus's fingers began to move again, and in a few seconds she was back up to speed. Are you holding the button to fast forward?
I pushed it just in case.
Just to check. As she typed more letters and symbols that meant nothing to Junpei began to pour across the screen.
Does this replace his old woman comment, I wonder?
I think it maybe does.
That would be nice.
What are you doing now?
I'm going to try to brute force it.
A brute what?
A brute force attack is... Well, the short version is I just attack the thing head on. The long version...
Without looking up or slowing down, she began to explain. A brute force attack is one of the simplest ways to break a cipher, she told him. It checks every possible combination until it finds the right one. For a complex cipher, it can take a very long time. The thought of doing something like that made Junpei feel tired, but Lotus explained that she was writing a program that would run such an attack on its own.
It's not the most elegant solution, certainly. But given the circumstances, there isn't much else I can do.
Even as she talked, her fingers never slowed or missed the key. Junpei couldn't help but feel a little awed.
Oh, but back to what we were talking about earlier.
What were we talking about?
The wireless display. It's kind of strange if you think about it, isn't it?
Huh?
How do I put it? Well, let's say you write a program that calculates an addition problem for you. Alright? So you enter 1 plus 1. The screen will show you 2. See, isn't that strange?
No. Not really.
Oh, come on now. Of course a caveman like you would think it was strange. You said so just a minute ago. You're just not getting it, are you? Who calculated 1 plus 1?
The main computer, right? You said it's connected to the monitor wirelessly.
Yeah, but someone who grew up in a cave wouldn't know that, right? They'd probably think that this thing here, the monitor, is doing the calculating. And once they've decided that, they'll start examining this monitor. They might poke the screen or something. Ah, I see, the color changes when I press it here. Then they might investigate the hardware on the inside. Ah, I see, so this wire supplies power. Eventually, they might even just cut the wires. Ah, yes, just as I expected. When this wire is cut, no results appear. Therefore, it must be this device which does the calculations. But the truth is that, just like you said, the computer is doing the calculating. But these cave people wouldn't know that, because they have no idea that the monitor and the computer are connected wirelessly.
Huh. Lotus continued to type. Junpei scratched his head. So, what are you trying to say?
Nothing. Really. It's just, I thought maybe... What if the relationship between human beings and our brains is like that?
Huh?
Well, let's say you stick a bunch of electrodes into parts of the brain. A scientist examining the signals they send out might say, interesting, so stimulating this part of the brain causes the person to see colors. That must mean this neuron cluster controls that function. Okay, let's see what happens when I cut out this part. Ah, just what I thought. Cutting off this part causes that function to cease. Therefore, human thought process must occur in the human brain. You get it? It's just like this monitor. Maybe their brain is just an output device, like this monitor. Maybe our thought processes actually occur somewhere else in a main body. We just don't know it. We never even think about it. Just like those cave people wouldn't know about wireless connections. We can't imagine that there's some unknown medium that transfers information into our brains where we experience that information as thoughts.
Junpei didn't say anything. Not so much because he had no retort. No, her argument just seemed silly, and he was a little surprised to be hearing something like it from someone like her. The brain is just an output device? Human thought actually occurs somewhere else? Did Lotus really think that, he wondered? It was a little creepy, Junpei thought. It sounded altogether too much like a bizarre cultish religion.
Maybe that's the cause of Seven's amnesia.
Oblivious to Junpei's increasing discomfort, Lotus continued.
If memory is actually stored somewhere else in some sort of main body, somewhere, maybe he hasn't forgotten anything at all. He's just having a difficult time accessing his memories because the monitor, his brain, has been damaged. I suppose that would explain aphasis and blindsight, too. Perhaps they actually can speak or see. The monitor just isn't functioning properly. Huh. I guess people with prosopagnosia could be suffering from the same thing.
I know a follower that actually has that. And you will learn what it is in a moment.
Okay.
Wait a minute. So what? He knew what aphasia was from watching medical dramas on television, and blindsight was easy enough to guess, but he had never heard the word prosopagnosia before.
She turned to him. What, you've never heard of prosopagnosia?
Aren't you glad we're getting this ending so you can see this different sprite?
So much different.
Lotus spun around in her chair to look at him. It's still typing. Oh! Yep. For a second I thought that she actually
stopped. She slows a little.
Junpei just shrugged and shook his head. Nope. What is it?
Well, put simply, it means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. Oh, that, yeah. In other words, my face will look the same as Clover's or even yours. So they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other.
Fun fact, a real-life person that has this is Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Interesting. That means that people with prosopagnosia have trouble recognizing even people they've grown close to.
Yeah, I actually read a bunch of it. It's kind of like a way of understanding this is like if you see a pile of Legos, can you remember exactly where each one was? And it's the part of the brain that recognizes a particular pattern when it comes to faces. And have you ever looked at someone's face, like someone like your dad? Because I've done this with my dad, and I go, oh, I've never stopped to realize all the things that are on your face aside from the template that I have in my memory for you.
That's true, yeah.
You know, and like the same way, like it's just it's a particular matter of pattern recognition, and it's very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Usually, they can make do by associating people with other things.
Exactly.
Their voices, their clothes, their hair.
Does that mean other people's faces look like blanks?
No, I don't think so. You've seen monkeys, like in a zoo, right? To you and me, all monkeys' faces look the same. Even though they've obviously got faces. It's almost impossible for a human to distinguish between them. The zoo staff that worked with them would be able to would learn to identify different monkeys, eventually, but you or I couldn't unless one had a scar or something else to set it apart. That's how people would be to someone with prosopagnosia.
Prosopagnosia, huh? Would have made for a really dope episode of House. You know what? Then maybe there is an episode of House.
It's possible.
You know
There's
what?
a lot of episodes of House.
Okay. I'm gonna workshop the episode for you. Okay. Okay. Hot female patient has prosopagnosia, and House goes out of his way to date her to see if his personality, something about like the personality of people versus what they look like. You know, one of those it's what's the inside that matters kind of BS episodes. There you go. If that show was still running, that would be easy episode. You can borrow that.
You know what show did do that? Rizzoli Isles, which isn't a very good show, so I don't really recommend it.
I've never heard of it.
It's about two, one's a lady detective and one's the medical examiner. So she's the morgue person, and they solve crimes together.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not as cool as you'd think, but they do have an episode where when someone with this is a victim, so they can't remember the face of who did it.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty good plot device.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to make light of the actual.
Not to make light of
but I'm just
have it,
if I was a crime writer, I'd be like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah. Okay, go.
Prosopagnosia, huh? Didn't even know that kind of thing existed. Junpei did his best to act as though the entire lecture hadn't gone entirely over his head. Oh, it's me. I thought it was
That's
you.
you. No.
And what were we talking about?
The idea that your brain is just an output device, like a monitor.
Like this monitor. Are you serious about that stuff?
Not really. I was just kidding for about half of it.
What about the other half? I like that line.
Well, I guess it was just adulting. What?
That's not funny. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Lotus's smile had something rather masochistic to it.
It's nothing more than a story I made up out of boredom. Don't take it too seriously. It was the first thing that came to my mind, and I just talked about it to kill time. But it looks like I don't need to talk anymore.
Oh, hold the left? We haven't, okay. Why?
I don't have to kill time any longer.
As she spoke, Lotus raised her right arm high and brought it down on the enter key.
Dink!
The program took only seconds to analyze the system. Chunks of text flickered on and off in quick succession, and then a line of numbers appeared, blinked, and disappeared. The screen cleared, and all that was left was the word accepted.
Accepted. Ha, piece of cake.
Lotus would clearly have patted herself on the back if it would not have made her look entirely ridiculous.
Because she's got those big bazongas, she can't even reach her back.
Head. After a few seconds, the accepted disappeared to be replaced with 9 squares arranged in 3x3 square. In a 3x3 square. What the hell is that?
I have no idea. It looks like a puzzle, though.
Suddenly, Lotus stood up.
That's it.
And we'll see you in a little bit. Feel free to also mega fast forward. Yeah. Okay. What the fuck?
You just gotta click them until they... I did that. I swear to God, I did that, too.
Oh yeah, you're a cool kid too,
I
Kitty.
was so cool.
And dang, that was really quick.
Yeah.
We get another line of dialogue. Clover said, "Can I ask a question?" And she followed with,
Oh,
"Oh,
shit.
and
Hold
for
on.
and we
I'm a girl.
and we solved the puzzle and we opened the box,
I'm a
got the keys,
girl.
and then this happened."
Junpei. No, that's June. Junpei. Help
Uh,
me. I'm a girl.
I can play too.
I'm a girl. Junpei, you went into door 5 with my brother, right?
There you go.
There we go. Did you hear him say, like, anything weird?
Why is she asking me this? Junpei wondered. The more he thought about it, however, the more it made sense. Snake had been gone for a long time. Clover was quite attached to her brother. Of course she would have worried about him. He thought back to when he had gone through door 5, hoping he might remember something, even a small something, that would help her. However... sorry, Clover. I can't really think of anything. I mean, he did mention that his, hearing exceeds that of a regular person, or something like that, but that's about it.
Okay.
Clover's words were barely audible. She nodded vaguely to Junpei and turned to walk away. Hey, wait a minute.
Huh?
Look, I don't know if I should ask you things, but if you don't mind, I was hoping you could tell me if, is Snake, was he born...
You're talking about his eyes?
Yeah.
No. He wasn't born blind. When he was a kid, he got into an accident. A really bad car accident. He couldn't see after that. And his arm.
His arm?
Yeah. My brother's left arm is it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm.
Huh.
The accident hurt him really bad. To save him, they had to cut off his arm.
Huh.
Is that all you wanted to ask me?
Talking about her brother had clearly taken a great deal out of Clover. Junpei nodded. Look, I'm sorry for making you talk about all that painful stuff. Clover only shook her head and walked off down the stairs. And I think we're good. Let me try, before we cut away, dear viewer, let me just turn this on. Okay, and we'll see you in a little bit. And we're back. We exited the laboratory.
We're in the hospital room
And
again.
as we were talking, Junpei asked about a key. Actually, I wonder if, is there like...
this-
No, I can't bring up like a log. I think there's a key for there, but it's fine. The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Here.
Seven tossed him something small and metallic towards Junpei. He caught it and found that the object was a key.
We haven't gotten this dialogue before?
I think that because of plot reasons, or I don't know. I'm missing it, but it's fine. On it, someone had engraved a symbol very similar to a 4. He looked over at June, who nodded back. It had to be the Jupiter symbol.
I'm going to let you hold on to that, alright?
Like, I'm pretty sure this is coming up because either A, we completely missed it, which is entirely likely, or B,
It has something to do
it's
with
because he has
something.
something to do. Yeah, got it.
Well, I've got something for you too, then. Here. It's the Saturn keycard. We found it in the kitchen. I might lose it. It's probably better if you hold on to it.
I'm sure we won't need these for anything.
Nope. That way, it won't be my fault if it gets lost.
And with that, she pressed it onto Junpei's hand. He felt slightly less than honored. As a group, they now had 3 keys that had not been used. The Earth key, which had been found in the laboratory.
Jupiter.
The Jupiter key, which Seven had just handed to Junpei. And the Saturn key card, which Lotus had just handed to Junpei.
Oh, there we go.
I'll tell you right now. Wait. Okay, we're gonna need those keys for the ending. But anyhow, let me just show that. We'll see you in a little bit, viewer. This is weird, but I feel like it's the only way to do this episode. So we
Let's
went.
not make it stupidly look.
Yeah, I know.
Excuse me.
We completed the whole sequence with Snake. There wasn't anything new there.
No.
They found the body, and
then we chose to go to room 6.
6, the furnace, and we're completing this when we got this bit of dialogue. We moved the crank from one to the next.
Yep.
And but it does seem like a possibility, you know. With that, he turned and walked away from the winch. Junpei and Ace followed him. You know, speaking of experiments... Santa suddenly stopped. There was this experiment some scientists did with rats.
They're always doing stuff with rats.
First, Kitty very casually tries to eat a freaking Swedish fish.
Dialogue here.
First, they took a squarish C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown.
That's not very nice.
The tank has 2 exits, A and B. The A exit is pitch black, so dark even a rat can't see shit. Exit B, however, is electrified, which means that rat can't leave through it. So, what would a rat do if it was put in this situation? Give me a fucking guess. Which exit would the rat choose? There was a moment of silence after Santa posed the question, and then Ace responded. It really should be should have quotations, but it's fine.
Oh, that would be B, of course. The rat has no way of knowing that the exit B is electrified.
Exactly. The rat goes to exit B. Of course, like I said, it's freaking electrified, which means the rat can't get out that way. So, after a lot of trial and error, the rat finally finds exit A.
I can't say that's very interesting or relevant, son. It's simply the story of a laboratory experiment. Trial and error, as they say.
You are right. It isn't very interesting. Yet.
And then why did you bring it up?
Hold on to your pantaloons, bitches.
What if I'm not wearing pants?
These scientists repeated this experiment over and over using hundreds of different rats over several generations. This produced some interesting, surprising results. With each generation of rats, they took less time to find the correct exit. Eventually, a rat was put in the tank who instantly chose exit A without even attempting to go to exit B. But even that wasn't the most impressive thing. The same experiment was conducted in another laboratory, far from the original one, with the same results. No, on second thought, the results weren't really the same. The rats in the second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the first rats in the initial experiment. These rats were not related to the rats used in the first experiment, and had never even come in contact with them, and yet, they all easily found their way to exit A, as though they already fucking knew. What did that mean? What did it all mean, I wondered?
Are you suggesting something like, telepathy? They were passing information to one another through some undetectable medium.
Ace looked skeptical. Santa snorted at him. How the fuck would I know? I'm not any kind of scientist. I don't know what made him do that. But I do know that story's true. And if you've got another explanation, I would sure love to hear it, old man. Come on, let's get going. There's still a lot here we haven't checked out. And we gotta get the hell out of here before June passes out. Without waiting for a response, he turned around and started walking. Junpei, however, wasn't quite ready to leave the topic alone. Wait, Choto, there's something...
To the side.
Oh my god, you dropped the sweetest fish.
It's right by your foot. Hold on, I got this.
Okay, Kitty's got this.
I don't want to pull out your headphone.
Yeah, I know, because we're kind of like this, we're this tangela of cables right now.
Okay.
Alright. There's something I want to ask you about. Santa stopped and turned around. Why did they use that tank for the experiment? Huh? Well, I mean, it seems like you could conduct the same experiment without the water. They could have just used a dry box, you know? If they needed to motivate the rats to escape, they could have, I don't know, put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats can drown? Santa gave a grim, barkable laugh. You know the word emergency comes from the same root word as emerge, right? You ever think about that? Kind of ironic, isn't it?
It's like rain.
Well, an emergency is something urgent, often something dangerous, and to emerge means to sort of come out or appear or rise out of something else. So what's going to emerge in an emergency? Is insp-fucking-ration. Inspiration? Yes. Think about it. When the chips are down, either you crack or your mind fucking focuses and pulls out what you need. So in an emergency, your real potential emerges? Is that what you're saying? Dang right! Kinda like how the starter Pokemons deal more damage on their basic moves when their health is lower.
Yep, totes.
Torrent is the one for water abilities, I remember that one. Santa, low-key fucking loves Bulbapedia. Give me a random article. Dang right.
He loves his science shit, so
Yeah.
it all makes sense.
That's why the rats had to drown. They had to be in fucking danger. They had to be in an emergency for inspiration to emerge.
Okay.
You dig?
I don't dig.
Junpei suddenly felt cold. The back of his head was aching and his stomach felt strange. Ah, and there we go.
Oh.
And we'll see you in a little bit. Think on that, dear viewer.